All right, so welcome to our Module 154 Week 5 class meeting. As always, thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it so much. What we are going to do today is review a little bit in Chapter 17. We're not going to do any of the practical practice today because most of you on here still do not have your books. And we're also doing the CPT workshops right now and starting maybe not next week or maybe the week after, I think the 24th maybe, the NCCT prep sessions are getting back started. And Claire, that might be something that you want to, since you're getting close to done, and Shakira also, go ahead and jump into those prep sessions and do some of the practice stuff to prepare for the exam. And if y'all want me to email you the practice exams and stuff and the answers, let me know. I think they're posted on the coding workshop page, but if not, I'll email them to you. For the newbies, that is probably not something that y'all are going to be interested in this go around. But the way this works, at the end of your program, you take the NCCT certification exam for medical coders and insurance. It's like medical coding and insurance, I think is what they call it. You take that at the end of the program. So these prep sessions, since people are starting and finishing constantly, what we do with the prep sessions is we just go through it and then stop for like a month or two, and then we go through it again, and so on and so forth. And that way everybody gets to go through it before they finish their program. We're kind of constantly cycling. And they decided today that I get to host one of those. So yay. But for you new ones, I wouldn't worry about trying to make it right now. Wait till the next go round. It's you're gonna have a lot of information thrown at you that you just don't need thrown at you right now if you go. But Claire and Shakira, I highly recommend that y'all go. And those are gonna be Tuesdays at 2 o'clock if y'all can make it. If not, they will be recorded and I will put them, I'll make an NCCT prep page and put them there. I'll put the videos there for y'all. And whoever else is wanting to go over that material. Let's see, announcements. Graduation has finally been set. It is Friday, May 5th. I do not have a time yet. Lafayette Cajun Dome or Cajun Dome Convention Center. And then they have also scheduled the fall one because thankfully they seem to have learned a lesson here. Our fall one is going to be in October. So for those of y'all that just started, that will probably be your graduation, the October one. Claire and Shakira, yours would be the one in May, if y'all choose to attend. Let's see, graduation, we talked about NCCT prep.
I have a quick question. Are we gonna get emails for like cap and gown and all that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What day is it again?
Friday, May the 5th.
Okay, because I give birth April the 13th.
All right.
Okay, just making sure.
All right, so you should be good to go by May 5th.
Yeah, okay.
I would think so. Awesome. That's your due date, or you scheduled for that day?
Oh, that's my due date.
Okay, so you got some leeway.
Exactly. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. Well, keep me posted.
Okay.
You do great with your stuff, though. I'm not worried about you.
Thank
That'll
you.
be good. All right, so we talked about graduation, NCCT prep. Coding workshops are going to continue on Tuesday nights at 7 for those of you that can make it. We did the first section of CPT this last Tuesday. So this coming Tuesday, y'all better have your books by that time. Lord, I'm going to lose my mind if y'all do not have books by that time. I'll start mailing y'all copies of the CPT manual. I've got a couple of extra copies, I think. I will start sending them out if I have to, or something. We'll figure out something. So those are going to continue on for next Tuesday. We'll start digging into the manual next Tuesday. And then those that continue on, we'll do a few for CPT and then a few for ICD-10 to get y'all acclimated with that. I think that's about it for major announcements. I will mention about NTHS. We're gonna have, and this is probably not gonna apply for our newer students either, unfortunately, we're about to have another round of NTHS nominations. If y'all don't know what NTHS is, it is the National Technical Honor Society. It requires you maintaining a GPA of like 3.5 or something like that, and actively coming to Zooms and participating in class and things like that. There's criteria to meet to get nominated for this. It's an honor society, so not everybody gets invited, unfortunately. Now, I want to say Claire's in NTHS. Yeah, Claire's in NTHS. And I've had a handful of students that they've gone through and been officers, and they're doing great things. In fact, I'm the advisor. I'm the co-advisor for NTHS for our chapter. And I actually got an email from Q yesterday, Claire. Q is the president, Curie Crockett. She emailed me and Miss April yesterday about some stuff. She wants our calendar of events and stuff so y'all can plan for this year. So I was impressed. That girl's on it, man. She like takes the ball and runs. You got to catch up with her. She's hard to catch. Girl's got some energy. But so she makes a wonderful president. She makes a wonderful president. It's a really great team. So we're gonna have another round of NTHS nominations. If you're interested in that, from the students who have been in for a little bit and have GPAs, if that's something you're interested in, get with me and I'll let you know if you qualify or not. And we'll talk about me nominating you, because that's the way it happens. I have to nominate you. I nominate my best students for NTHS. All the instructors do. So get with me if that's something you have questions about. And I think that's about it as far as announcements. We'll go ahead and talk about chapter 16.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure, Gordy, what you got?
So I know this is probably gonna be crazy, but I know you said the exams. I know are they open book? Or, I mean, I know we can't memorize all the codes, but.
Right. No, you can use your books. I allow you to use your books, your manuals, whatever you need to use. And also on my exams, I allow retakes. Our system, like, we have to put the exam in, and it's in a digital format, of course, because it's online, right? So it does a certain amount of self-grading, but for things like the coding, the system is so particular on how they want you to do it. It marks most everybody's coding wrong, regardless of what you put in the blank. So I manually grade all of your exams. So our system, because it keeps the answers stored, I have the options to, when I let you, I have the option to let you review your exam, see what you missed, see the correct answers, and then y'all can look back into it and see where you went wrong. Okay, I allow 2 retakes on the exams. You can go back in, look at what you missed, refresh yourself, and then retake the exam to see if you can improve your score. I am not the kind of instructor that expects y'all to read everything, memorize everything the first go round, and then be able to test well. Some people don't test well. They just don't. I don't particularly test well under pressure. So that's why I allow retakes. And here's the thing. Here's my other logic behind it. The more you guys see this material, the more you review it, the more you read it, the more you go over it when you're reviewing your exams and things, the more of it is going to stick. The more of it you're going to remember. Repetition is really key in this program. And you'll see a lot of it. You'll read something, and then one of the chapter exercises will make you regurgitate what you read, basically. Make you fill in the blank, complete the sentence, match it, whatever. So it's making sure that information is going to stick. And we know not all of it's going to stick, but you should be able to get the general concepts of what they're talking about. And another thing I want to make real clear to y'all, because I know y'all feel like y'all have stepped into medical school with the medical terminology that's being thrown at you in the chapters that we're doing right now. I know it. And I'm sorry for it, because we're not in medical school. I don't expect y'all to know all this stuff. Sometimes, like I said, there's still words that I can't say, that I don't know what they are. And in cases like that, you know what I do? I just go to my alphabetic index in my manual and I try to figure out what that word is and see if that's what I'm looking for. You know, it's just figuring out what these things are. And fortunately, the manuals provide you everything you need to figure out all of it. Everything. They tell you about the body systems, they give you illustrations, they give you definitions, and then they give you your coding guidelines on top of that too. So all the stuff is there for you. You just need to know how to access it, and you're just not there yet. But we're getting there. We're getting there, okay? So don't get discouraged by the medical terminology if it completely throws you off. It does that to everyone, because we've not been through medical school. So it's gonna confuse us sometimes. Okay. A little bit about your chapter 16 exams for those of y'all that have completed it. They look good. Y'all did really, really well on that one. Like, most of the ones I've graded so far have been A's. I've been really, really impressed. Y'all did good. Those of y'all that are about to finish the program, y'all have got it down. Like, I'm not even hardly, like Claire's, I hardly have to manually grade hers because she's got the system down so well that she's putting things in exactly perfect, and the system is taking it like it is. Now I've got some students who are about halfway through the program. Ma'am?
Oh, nothing.
Okay, I have some students that are about halfway through the program, and you guys are doing well too. Your coding is not quite as precise as some of the older students, but you're getting there. You're in the right sections, you're around the right code, you're getting to where you need to be. So just keep up the good work. Just remember to check those guidelines, remember to check your bottom little key, your little legend at the bottom of the pages to make sure that you're not forgetting anything. The mistake that I'm seeing the biggest right now is leaving off those extra alpha characters. Like when it's initial visit or subsequent visit or third visit, there's like A, D, E, whatever you have to add on to the end of the code. I'm seeing some mistakes there. Seeing a fair amount of that left off. And a lot of that is because you have to go to the beginning of the section to find that little key. It's at the beginning of the section in the coding manuals. That's why. So we just need to remember to go back and look for that, especially if it specifies that it's a first visit, which is initial visit, or a subsequent, which would be your second or later visit. Okay. So just remember that. But otherwise, you guys are on it. Y'all are doing really, really well. Really well. I graded the daily assignments for the new students in your labs. Y'all are doing great so far. If y'all are using Google, it's working for you. I know you don't have your manuals, but y'all are doing a great job. Just keep it up. And I promise you, when those manuals come in, things will start to click a little bit better for you. All right, so let's talk about chapter 17, because everybody is expected to take the chapter 17 exam. Everybody's done the reading on that one. Everybody's going to take it. For those of y'all that do not have manuals, if you still do not have your manual by that time, put that in the blank on the exam. No manual. I'm not going to mark you off for it, okay? Like I said, we're going to wrap back around to this information. So at this point, you're not missing anything. You're not missing anything, okay? You end in module 154. So you're gonna, once we wrap back around, you'll have a much better understanding and you're gonna fly through it. Right, Claire? Because that's what she's doing right now. She started you started 154 or 155?
I think 154.
I think the end of 154.
the end, yeah, it was like the
Now gotta
very
finish
end.
this whole thing.
Yeah.
But from where you started to how you're flying through it now, world of difference, right?
Big time, big time.
Exactly.
Huge difference.
Huge difference. Like I said, when y'all wrap back around to this, that's, I don't want you to feel like you're missing, like you're not learning anything, because you are. At this point, the main thing is to know that you've got access to everything, you can get into everything, you can navigate everything, you know where to find your assignments, you know where to go to read, you know where to find your chapter exercises, and y'all are doing great. Y'all have got all that. So we're on the right track, okay? All right, so chapter 17. Chapter 17 is the cardiovascular system, and there are just some key points that I just want to make sure that y'all have a firm understanding of about cardio. It's a little bit different than some of the other body systems. And I'm sure if y'all have done the reading, you would have read that the coding for cardio can be found in 3 different sections of the CPT manual. It's in surgery for cardiac surgical procedures. It's in medicine for therapies and different procedures like that. And then it's also in radiology for things like testing echocardiograms or ECGs, EKGs, things like that, to be found in the radiology section. So your codes for cardio can come from multiple sections in the book. So you're not tied to that one section. So that's point number one. That's point number one. I'm gonna make sure that y'all understood that. And there's other body systems that are the same way, especially a lot of radiology. Radiology is its own thing, okay? Medicine is its own thing. So the coding, it'll have its own coding, essentially. The other main point I wanted to talk about was the difference between invasive and non-invasive. Does everybody have a real firm, clear idea of what the difference between invasive and non-invasive is?
Yes.
You good with it, Jackie? Awesome.
Oh,
Sarah, I know you got that. Shakira, I'm sure you got that too. But an easy way to remember this, guys, the way I like to think about it is with invasive, they're invading the body to do something. They are going inside the body, under the skin. They are breaking the skin to get invade the body to do something. And non-invasive is the exact opposite. They're not going inside the body. They're not breaking the skin. It's like the difference between open heart surgery and an EKG. An EKG, they just stick little leads on you and do the reading, right? Whereas open heart surgery, they're cutting you open and they're going handle your heart. So invasive versus non-invasive. And that's the big thing that y'all can remember, is the breaking of the skin. Invasive does break the skin and non-invasive does not. Okay. So that's the main things that I wanted to talk about. Let's see. I just want to make sure that there's nothing else. I do not expect y'all to know all the different parts of the heart or the vascular system or anything like that. Y'all are not expected to know that. It is helpful if you have an understanding of the different parts of the heart, like the different valves, what they're called, and your different arteries and things like that, your main ones. That's helpful to know. And we have some really great illustrations in the books and diagrams that'll help y'all out to see that. So make sure you check that out. There's a lot of medical in the cardio section. In this section of it, there's a lot of medical stuff. Invasive, non-invasive. Okay, that was pretty much the main points. Everything else, y'all should be okay reading it and doing the chapter exercises, from what I can tell. Do y'all have any questions about anything that y'all gone over that threw you off? Or that anything you're having issues with at all? Nothing? Nothing, we're good? All right. Now, in order to help y'all with some of the terminology and the medical jargon and all that, there will be some diagrams and different things on tests, but y'all will see them before you have the exam. Like I will assign it, labeling it in an assignment, a worksheet or something like that before you see it on an exam. Promise, okay? You will have looked at it specifically before it ever shows up on an exam. I'm not just gonna pop up with a random diagram for y'all to fill out. And that's just to, again, help y'all with the terminology and the parts of the body. Yep. Yep, that's about it. As far as coding specifics for cardio. All right, so you're sure y'all don't have anything? I'm just flipping to make sure. Okay, well, if y'all don't have anything else for me, that's pretty much all I've got for y'all today. Okay. And I do also want to explain something to y'all too. The reason I don't go into great detail about these chapters in particular, as far as lectures and things like that, is because if y'all don't ever work for a cardiologist, you'll never use this information. Point blank. So I'm not going to sit here and lecture y'all on a bunch of different specialties that you may never work in. Coding, regardless of the specialty, you're using the same process. You're looking through the same type of information. So I don't feel the need to sit here and explain the different parts of the heart or the body or different stuff like that. But I promise you, y'all will get some knowledge of those types of things through the material if you do the work. Okay. And then if there's, well, like I say, if there's anything you ever want more information on, get with me and we'll work that out. You may find going through some of these different sections in the book that you like coding a certain section more than another. So you may seek out a cardiologist's office when you go to work, or something like that.
Well, if you I'm sorry, if you work for a specialist, or say you've done like general medicine, or work for like a primary care physician, and you decide to start coding for a specialist, would you have to relearn it, or would it just come natural, like when you get to that, when you start coding that?
Natural. It'll come natural to you. Once you get the process down pretty much, and you know the manuals, or you have a fair idea of what can be found where in the manual, you can code anything. I have done, and this is without a coding manual generally, and without any formal education. When I started, I'd never worked in the medical industry at all in any capacity. But I've worked cardiologists, I've worked orthopedics, I've worked pediatrics, I've worked trauma, I've done ambulance billing, a ton. I've done a ton of different stuff, and you do it all. The process is the same for all of it. But yeah, if you never go to work for a cardiologist, if you never do any cardiology coding, you'll never see this information again. So, but as far as getting certified for coding and things like that, you got to know the process and you got to understand, or at least know where your guidelines are. You'll hear me talk about guidelines. Oh no,